the chamber fell silent. The ornate hall, usually alive with the bustling hum of politics, seemed to hold its breath. All eyes turned to the center of the room, where a tense exchange was unfolding. Nancy Pelosi, her sharp gaze unwavering, pointed a finger at Senator John Kennedy and, in a voice that cut through the murmur like a whip, said, "Sit down, boy." The words, simple and commanding, echoed off the marble walls, but what happened next would leave Congress and the nation stunned. Kennedy's eyes, normally twinkling with a southern charm, hardened with resolve. For a moment, a ripple of doubt passed through the audience. Would he yield, retreat politely as protocol demanded? Then, in a voice low but resonant, he spoke, not with anger, not with defiance for its own sake, but with the weight of conviction. "Madam Speaker, I will stand, not for myself, but for every American who expects their voices to be heard in this chamber." The words seemed to hang in the air, charged with electricity. Members shifted uneasily in their seats. Some stared in disbelief, others whispered to neighbors, struggling to process the audacity and the courage displayed. Kennedy's statement wasn't just about defiance, it was a challenge to the very culture of complacency that had begun to suffocate debate, a reminder that duty to the people sometimes demanded standing, even when the walls of power pressed down. Flashbacks of Kennedy's journey flashed through his mind as he spoke. Growing up in the quiet swamps of Louisiana, he had learned early that authority could be intimidating, but it was never infallible. He remembered his father's words, "Boy, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it." And so he stood, a lone figure against the weight of the chamber, knowing that the path of principle was often lonely. Pelosi's eyes narrowed, a mixture of irritation and admiration crossing her face. Kennedy continued, each word deliberate, each phrase meant to pierce through political theater and reach the essence of public service. He spoke of Americans struggling under bureaucracy, of families burdened by debt, of veterans waiting for care, and of children who deserved honesty and integrity from those they elected. His voice, usually light and laced with wit, was serious, almost reverent. The chamber, previously tense and restless, began to lean in. Kennedy wasn't merely speaking to Pelosi, he was speaking to every citizen watching, reminding them that courage could take root in unexpected places. Minutes stretched into an eternity. When he finally paused, the silence was deafening. Then, one by one, the applause began, first cautious, then swelling into a chorus of claps, some hesitant, some unrestrained. Members of both parties, those who had opposed him on policy countless times, couldn't help but acknowledge the weight of his words. In that moment, Kennedy had transcended party lines. He had reminded Congress why they were there, not for power, not for prestige,